part two, then it's like if nobody's going to help me, then I'm not going to turn to those places and are going to be helpful. Meeting you soul to soul and invading your psyche back, you cannot penetrate without being penetrated, and transforming from the core what I find disturbed by, in the sense that it violates my own autonomy, my sensual boundaries, and so on and so forth. That can be more like it. So you think about Israel is starting to think about, that's America, that's Americans. Okay, what's going on? What am I observing? What is the data that is being received? What are they trying to send me? What are they trying to work on? And they're like, what do they want? This country, oil and gas. Okay, let's do something about that. Let's explode the damn fuckery. Let's talk about natural reserve. Let's talk about changing energy sources. Oh, they want to depopulate. Okay, but why the human trafficking? So they mean they do want to exchange it for oil and gas. Okay, then well, that's kamikaze. They will have to explode an A-bomb on their oil and gas reserves. That's unlikely to happen. Okay, then kamikaze. Okay, and Palestinians are like they're. I know that they are on the Pisces Virgo, but that's Hamas. Okay, Palestinians are so like similar minded. I know that there is a strong like moon Capricorn and stuff like that. Yes, but you think about minimalism and crops and that olive oil that they grew until the soil got fungal. Okay, that's also a facet. So they were experiencing the equivalent of at least a mini Holocaust, and then they came back to the soil to harvest the olives. Israelis, same, but with tomatoes and garlic. So we are talking, let's just put it that way. We are talking about something that could,
Did you
yes.
have a gray hat?
Oh yeah.
You left it.
Oh, thank you. We are talking about the fact that Israelis are now tending to American problems the Israeli way, and so do Palestinians, while Americans are tending to Israeli problems the American way. So it's like they're bringing other stuff. They can be fascinating as well, okay? And so you think about how Americans deal with problems, think about the litigation, changes in the litigation, but there's just so much more praxis to study, and how, Americans deal with problems by studying everything about the topic and changing. You think about pragmatism as a very American philosophy. Okay, so pragmatism is a very American philosophy. And so one of the notions of pragmatism is the fact that a belief has consequences, and we calculate the consequences of holding that belief. That has applications in the medical field, in politics, okay? So for example, if a person holds the belief that there is value in the concept of, let's say, you're a psychotic, what is the implication versus if you understand that that thing is not yours, not because you're not taking responsibility, but because you're limiting your responsibility to what is yours, and you're transforming from the core what is not, because that invades you, okay? So that's one way, let's say, Israelis deal with American issues. And that is something you can take from the other culture. For example, Israelis take a lot from Indian culture, or even from Thai culture. And so some of the Israeli solutions perhaps can be adjusted to Americans. That is what Israelis do best at, okay? It's like, hey, we deal with a lot of security issues, then we save all the earth, and then we teach others how to do that. Say with medical issues pre-COVID, okay? And so when you think about the mkultra topic, a move into Venusian willing consent-based economy, which is why this thing is done, okay? The currency changes are around beta per se. So you think about not forgetting your Cancer Capricorn, but kind of like, hey, Pluto moved forward into the fixed axis. Let's look at your Taurus Scorpio axis. Where is it in your chart? How can you utilize these houses to combat the dumb fuckery, mind control, surveillance, molesting based supposed motherland that works on caring, fertility, incest, and mind control. So the fixed axis is helping everybody to tackle that, but the Taurus Scorpio is kind of like, where is Taurus in your chart? Okay, where's Venus in your chart? Where's Mars in your chart? Do you need a Venus remediation? Do you need a Mars remediation? Do you tackle it from the Jupiter Saturn? Okay, so we're talking about the Saturn of algae, the Saturn outside the structure. And you understand when masses of people experience something, they learn. And so if United States has been dealing with that since 1779 or 1776, okay, then now that it invaded another country, that country does it differently. Israel does that differently. You know, it hasn't been too long since COVID, the Great Resignation. Everybody is now espionage, and it's all ultra out in the open. Israel is called the Freemasons, the free baboons. Instead of bonim chofshim, they say baboonim chofshim. Okay, like they get the gist, and they get that the ones that don't get the gist are also are infiltrated, and they also get their power in numbers. Israelis has seen death in their eyes more so than anybody can imagine, as well as Americans, right? But they're not the ones who don't know what to do in crisis situations. In fact, we thrive in crisis situations. But the Taurus pole is kind of like, hey, I can, like, if you come to find me, I will thrive from that. I will get wealthy from that. I will get rich from that. I would get more resilient from that. I would get orgasmic on exploding the dumb fuckery. Okay? Okay? So that's Taurus Scorpio. But hey, wouldn't it be better if we just had, let's travel together. Okay? Let's have a cup of coffee. Let's have a good meal.